So another episode of Solo Leveling has come and gone, and honestly, this was probably an episode that probably had the most in changes than any other episode we've had thus far. Like, so much was actually changed, and so much was done in like reverse that I honestly can't really discuss anything without first going into the differences between the episode and the manhwa. First things first. We'll start it way back. Our main character is drinking with his sister. You know, they're having a good time. He's got chicken, KFC, and he's, having a few drinks with his sister. They're, have palling around. And of course, in the episode, that's when he discovers, wait a minute, the system detoxifies him. He can't be poisoned. Well, here's where it changes. In the anime, he just basically just goes to bed. And then, of course, his sister comes, is like, hey, you got a phone call. In the manhwa, it was totally different, which honestly kind of aligns with how most people would think. He started drinking, realized, hey, I can't be poisoned. Then he naturally was like, wait a minute, I have an item that if it poisons me, that it will buff me, but poison me as well. So he's like, but that should be cleared up. So he immediately took the venom that he gotten from the boss, the instance dungeon, and he drank it. And lo and behold, as it did in the episode, he got the 20% resistance, but he didn't get the minus 35 strength because it was cleansed. Well, like I said, in the anime, this didn't happen until he's in the midst of the fight with Cerberus. It seems that they wanted to use that as another buff to draw out the fight with Cerberus. And that fight with Cerberus, albeit very cool, it was drawn out a little bit more than it was in the actual manhwa. In the manhwa, he actually beat Cerberus right after he did the status recovery. When he did the status recovery, he cleansed, got healed, had a little, thought with himself, and then honestly just did the Cerberus wrong. In the manhwa, he took one of the heads and then like twisted his head around and then grabbed onto another head and started attacking it. And after some cries later, it's like basically panels of just screaming, he wins. And that's it. That's pretty much all of the fight. Of course, in the anime, it was, like I said, very cool, but very drawn out. The whole section of him going to the shop and buying potions, that didn't happen. Like, a lot of the stuff that you see didn't happen in the course of events that happen in the anime. Now, granted, that's not a bad thing, because like I said, this panel was very cool. His fight was very cool. They, tried to give suspense as, oh man, he's fighting Cerberus and he's getting very low health. Oh my lord, is he about to die? Is this the end? What's gonna happen here? And his goal in this fight was to find out whether or not he was prepared enough to continue and see where he ranks up with everything else. Now, granted, the anime did a better job at showing the disparity, like, oh man, he was very close to dying, so he's definitely not ready for the castle. While the manhwa was like, okay, he kind of squeaked through, got the status recovery, and then, oh, he's not ready. So it did seem like in the manhwa that maybe he could have maybe peeked into the castle, but he doesn't do that. Says the same thing he does in the anime. Is like, I'm not ready yet. Let me come back when I'm stronger. But it's just more visualized in what we saw in the episode today. So another difference that was actually done in the show versus the manhwa was this part where he's actually exercising with his sister. And that was in the manhwa, but the show kind of made it seem like whenever he was speeding faster than his sister, they kind of honestly made him look kind of like a jerk. I mean, the brother-sister dynamic, I think, is pretty cool. They do show the relationship between them being siblings and such, how they care for each other, yet they mess around with each other. That, I think, still holds true. And they try to make it to where he would just outspeed her and then kind of underline it. It's like, oh, he's just a hunter. He's just going to be better. At least that's her thinking. But in the manhwa, the reason why he kept outspeeding her is because he was actually thinking about the offer that Jinwoo had given him, which was the scene previous to this. In the anime, he just flat out declined the offer. But in actuality, he kind of accepted it. He did give a amendment to it. He was like, okay, I will take this offer, but we need to add this clause to it. Now, I'm not going to kind of disclose what that is because I think that's going to be probably stated in, I would assume, the next episode, because that was the biggest surprise for me, was looking at this and just showing that he just flat out was like, nope, and then left. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how that scene works out. So I was very curious as far as how the rest of this episode was going to be played out, because one, they didn't show the venom, him drinking the venom at the beginning, when it naturally was supposed to happen. And two, he flat out just rejected the offer. I'm like, wait, these are 2 points that are supposed to happen, yet are completely changed. So the rest of the episode, I was like scratching my head like, okay, what direction are they going to take this in? Because these are important key points, yet they're not really stating that. They're not really disclosing that. The Venom thing happened in the middle of the fight, and I assume next week's episode, he probably reconvenes with Jinwoo, and then that's when he's like, okay, I'll take your offer, but we need to change some things first. Finally, the other, I guess not really that big of a difference, but here in this discussion with this guy that was the younger brother, that is actually an S class, S rank, that wants revenge for the death of his brother to our MC. There's 2 things. One, it doesn't disclose the fact that he's actually in America, and the whole story is actually taking place in Korea. They don't disclose what country, which I've been hearing this in the last few episodes, they haven't been disclosing what country that they're actually located in. Maybe it's for the fact that it's like, okay, this is an anime now, and without saying what country we're in, viewers may feel like, oh, I'm a part of, that maybe this has happened in my setting or a certain area. I don't really know for sure why, but this happens in South Korea. The whole definition of manhwa is the fact that it's like a manga, but instead of Japan, it takes place in Korea. So here, this guy, he's in another country and he's asking his secretary, what happens if I kill someone in Korea? And of course, she's trying to say, oh, well, there's going to be a lot of issues, repercussions if you do that. Then later, he asks her, okay, when will I have an opening? In the manhwa, she actually says it'll be at least 2 weeks. Now here, they don't disclose the time, which I thought was pretty interesting, that I think they went with that direction as to not pigeonhole themselves into something happening, i.e., maybe in the future episodes, they try to say, oh, stuff happens within a certain amount of days. And if eagle-eyed people will be like, wait a minute, she said 2 weeks and it's been longer than 2 weeks and he hasn't shown his face yet, then that could be, a mix-up, a clash in their actual storyboarding and how they want things to be portrayed. But in the manhwa, it specifically says that he won't have another free moment until 2 weeks have passed before he can go to Korea and take out his revenge. Maybe they decide in the anime to make him show up earlier, maybe later, I don't know. But it seemed like it was purposeful of one, the setting, not said, of Korea, and two, the timing. Which, like I said, as someone that had kind of knew this, was like, wait, that's a change. It was interesting to see the direction the developers or the creators are taking this in, so then that way maybe it gives them more breathing room. Overall, those were the biggest differences and the ones that I can pretty much talk about. Like I said, next week's episodes are going to be pretty good as far as the battling is concerned. One thing that's really good about this anime is it's literally called solo leveling, and their direction that they've done in the anime is showcase he is out here, he is actual leveling by himself. He's not sitting there trying to have a group party or anything like that to try to gain these levels. He is going to these dungeons, these fights are longer, and you can actually see the struggles that he's going to as he's leveling up and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So him in his fight, like I said, with Cerberus, yes, it was drawn out. Yes, it was bloody. And yes, there was a lot of different directions done versus the manhwa, but I am enjoying how the anime is doing this. So then that way you see more of his fights and more of his struggle as he's climbing up the ranks to get better and better. And in this case with Cerberus, you definitely can showcase he is not ready. Even though we've seen how powerful he is at different circumstances, there are still things better than him, stronger than him. And it's definitely like, man, whew, he's not ready for a lot that we think he's going to be ready for. At this point, you might think, oh, he's OP, he's stronger than everybody else, but no, he's still better. You see him fight the snake-like boss, and we're like, oh man, he's so strong now. But then he comes across and has to fight real people, fights the spider boss, and it's like, oh man, we saw him take on the snake. We thought he's ready. Oh, he's struggling against this. He beats that. Oh, okay, he's even stronger now. Oh, he's going to be fine against Cerberus. Nope, Cerberus comes around. It's like, excuse me, you're not as good as you think you are. But then he fights that and gets even better. So we are showcasing and seeing the struggles he's going through as he climbs the ladder. So there's going to be a lot more that happens, and honestly, I cannot wait for the future, because if you think it's already been pretty bloody, there is even more to come. Tell me what you guys think, definitely in the comments down below, because I am enjoying every moment of this anime. It keeps getting better and better, and it will continue to get better and better as time goes on. I can't wait for more. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to see where they end this season at, because there's a lot. There's a lot that's still going to be happening. Anyway, tell me down what you guys think in the comments down below. Please make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe for more, because we'll definitely be discussing this anime and future episodes from it as well. And don't forget to check on the Patreon, because the full reaction is there on Patreon as well. You can join up, sign up, and see more from Solo Leveling and a few other content we have there. You guys be safe, take care of yourselves, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.